Welcome to the update. I'm Eleanor Quirk. Thousands of residents in northwest Sydney have been evacuated as the Hawkesbury and Nepean rivers peaked, sparking major flood warnings. SES volunteers are continuing to respond to hundreds of calls as they patrol the hardest hit areas, mainly around Penrith. Evacuation orders remain in place, but the SES's Andrew Edmonds says some residents have chosen to stay.
In Sydney, we've got 1,400 dwellings and more than 3,600 people that are currently under the emergency evacuation warning. But then, if they've chosen to stay, then that means they may be isolated for a few days until the floodwaters subside.
Meanwhile, heavy rain is continuing to soak Queensland with major flood warnings in place around the southeast regions. The United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF is joining calls for an independent investigation into the killing of 7 aid workers in Gaza by an Israeli airstrike. The Israeli Defence Force's own internal investigation revealed a case of mistaken identity led to the strike, which killed an Australian. But the aid organisation that was targeted says further investigation is needed, calls backed by UNICEF's Jonathan Cricks.
There is an international humanitarian law, and that international humanitarian law demands that request that all parties are ensuring that the people who are delivering that humanitarian aid, that these people are protected.
Operations in the Kimberley region of Western Australia continue after reports a boat carrying 15 people arrived on the beach. The group, believed to be Chinese, walked into a remote airbase on Friday. It's the third illegal boat to have reached WA's coastline in recent months. And a reminder that daylight saving time has come to an end. Clocks have gone back an hour in New South Wales, Victoria, the ACT, Tasmania and South Australia. Sport and entertainment are next. To sport, and Fremantle has ended their winning streak after a controversial umpire call handed Carlton a 10-point win. The Blues sealed the win with a penalty kick after Freo's Jordan Clark fired up over a mark that he claimed was touch. Coach Justin Longmuir says his team needs to focus on what they can control.
Should have just got on with it, even if they weren't happy with the call before. There's not much you can do. So the players clearly thought they touched the footy, and they still say that now. But that's a really hard call for the umpire to make. We just need to move on because the umpire is never going to backtrack. So we just need to move on.
A replay later confirmed the ball was touched. South Sydney captain Cameron Murray concedes he may have to have a conversation with Latrell Mitchell about his foul play. The star fullback was placed on report twice during their 34-4 loss to the Warriors. Murray says Mitchell needs to reflect on his playing style.
He normally knows what he needs to change before anyone tells him. But passing by conversations won't hurt. So pretty fresh after the game now, but something to think about over the weekend, I think.
To entertainment, a resurfaced interview with Isla Fisher from just weeks ago has raised questions over the timeline of her marriage breakdown with Sacha Baron Cohen. It comes after the pair announced they filed for divorce last year. But in an interview with Kelly Clarkson in February this year, the Aussie actress still seems smitten as she talked about their Valentine's Day plans.
Well, you and Sacha, do y'all celebrate Valentine's Day? You get into it?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say we're particularly, I think just having a lot of kids and being busy, we don't do a lot, but every year, Sacha does give me a card that's Happy Valentine's from, and then there's a massive question mark.
Yeah.
As if anybody else would send me.
Yeah.
And that's the latest from the Nova podcast team. We'll see you again soon for another episode of The Update.